way to start, I think, is I had Admiral Joe Nimick on the show yesterday, who's a former high-ranking official at FEMA, and he got us thinking about some of these issues, forecasts in particular, when he said this.
What we really also need to be talking about is how do we better predict the amount of rain? You know, initially the Weather Service, with their excellent systems, were looking at 4 to 5 inches, not 15 inches. We still don't know how to predict more accurately in a very small area what that rainfall is going to be. We've come a long way on hurricanes and an excellent way on tornadoes. We still don't have a good system.
Okay, Troy, what would you say about that?
Well, I'm not going to argue the point too much with that because meteorology, Connell, is an inexact science anyway. But I will tell you the original flash flood watch called for 4 to 7 inches of rain. If you're from South Central Texas and the Texas Hill Country, 4 to 7 inches of rain can cause considerable problems and cause deaths. We ended up with more than that. I will tell you, it's my belief. I'm biased. I know the people that hit the buttons Thursday morning on the warnings at the National Weather Service, Austin, San Antonio. They issued the warnings. I believe the Weather Service, Austin, San Antonio did an excellent job. Can we make improvements in what we do? Absolutely. Can we work on the skill and forecast amounts? Absolutely. But the warnings were there. I think part of our problem is we have a hard time communicating that. And I think your question, kind of about what happened, a large amount of it is going to be tied to the fact that the majority of these deaths will have occurred in the nighttime hours. It's the number one time for flash flood deaths. And in addition, it occurred going into a federal holiday when many people were out camping. It was an outdoor weekend, and we had gone into the event rather slowly. There were thunderstorms were in the forecast, but at the same time, it wasn't we weren't out there in the street screaming about it at that point. The flash flood watch came out 14, 15 hours in advance, and the flash flood watch tells you if you live along a stream bed, you need to be prepared.
To your point about communication, I had another interesting conversation with Lieutenant General Russell Honore. Go back to Katrina, has been speaking about all of these disasters for years and years yesterday, specifically about that, flash flood warnings, watches. And his point of view was that, you know, kind of normal people would be better served by more direct communication, like evacuate. You know, something that, whereas people are saying, well, what's a watch, what's a warning? You think there's anything to that?
Absolutely, there's something to it. I can tell you right now, Connell, if we went into and did a survey of our viewers right now and our listeners and asked people what watches and warnings meant, most people would get it wrong. But it's very simple in a way. A watch means to watch. It really doesn't require you to make any changes in what you're doing. It means you need to watch. You need to have a plan. Connell, people do not have plans. We have to have plans. We have to exercise them. We have to be able to act on them. Warnings mean life and property threatening, and you need to make a quick decision, imminent type of decision. And those warnings occurred at what, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, where we had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old children in camps on a river down there. Yeah. And it was just everything was against us, I think, to some degree. People were there to enjoy the hill country, Connell, and I'm the latest numbers that you're reporting that I just saw the Texas governor report, 161 missing.
Crazy.
This is truly a catastrophe.
I couldn't believe that. I thought he was talking about just children at first, like I said earlier, and then it turned out the real number of total people missing was 161, not statewide, in Kirk County. Just in Kirk County alone.
And by the way, I want to say something else, Connell. I want to thank NewsNation. A few minutes ago with Alex at the office there in Chicago. No one gets to see that. And I haven't seen one news media outlet take anyone into an office like that and let people see it. We had 5 people, all of which I know that are personal friends of mine that were working that Thursday night. Connell, that office you saw in Chicago, the one in Austin, San Antonio today, I can tell you, the people are devastated.
I'm sure
I'm worried about these as my friends.
Well, we think it's important to cover every single side of a story, not to not ask critical questions as well, but to cover it all. So that's why I think you're right. Thank you, Troy. We have to run now, but thank you for everything.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.